Let me ask you something. Who's getting more of your time and attention? Is it your gaming console or your wife? A lot of men are starting to wonder as we deep dive into it. Are they more married to their video game than their spouse? So listen, I've been with my wife for now 10 years plus and married for over 5. And I get it. You definitely have to strike a balance between, giving her quality time and your personal hobbies. But today, we're going to be looking at, hey, is gaming starting to replace real life connections? So before we dive deep into this video, I want to look at a couple key point takeaways. Point one being, hey, why has video games become such a distraction in a relationship? The second thing, how to prioritize your wife and still do your hobbies. And the third thing is, I want to give you some tips that can help you both thrive and keep balance between your wife and your gaming life. Let's get it. Alright, so look, let's talk about the problem. Or is there really even an issue? For a lot of guys, gaming is used as an escape. They don't have to worry about work stress, they don't got to worry about bills, and also even at the house, they don't got to worry about even arguments. So, but the question becomes, are they using that escape a little too much outside of reality? So I want to give you a little fact. Did you know that gamers spend at least 8 hours or more a week on playing video games? Bro, that's a part-time job. If you took that time and invested it back into your marriage, just imagine where you guys would be. So I would say this, I'm going to give you a little tip or whatever. With them 8 hours, it could be an hour reading, an hour at the gym, maybe 2 hours going to see your kids, 2 hours hanging out with friends. Again, picking up another part-time job that you can do with that. You can learn a new skill. It's so many ways you can utilize that time versus just being in front of a gaming system. So while you're over here trying to level up your character, you need to be trying to level up your character in real life. And that can level up your marriage and your relationship. Because listen, if your spouse is feeling like she has to compete with you in the real world and the virtual world, then that's going to be a problem. So bro, it's not the game itself that's an issue. The issue is you're not giving your wife quality time or undivided attention. And so ask yourself this. When was the last time y'all had the TVs off, the game off in the background, the cell phones on silent, put away, and y'all was able to have a real meaningful, deep conversation? And here's the thing about it. Your wife needs emotional connection. Just because y'all in the same room and you got the controller next to her while you're on the couch, that ain't gonna create the connection you think. Again, she needs to be fed emotionally. Be honest. How many times have you pushed off taking out the trash? Completing some little task she asked you to do 5-10 minutes ago. Because what? You was in the middle of the game. You gotta remember, these little things start to add up, they start to stack up, it starts to cause friction, and it can start to cause resentment. So here's the good news. You don't have to give up your gaming. You don't have to burn up your PS5. So what I'm saying is, there is a balance. I'm going to give you some tips on how to achieve it. So look, first up, you have to talk to your wife. You really got to figure out how she feels about the amount of time that you're spending gaming. And guess what? You may be surprised by the answer. And it may even save your relationship. So I'm going to give you a practical tip. You have to set your game time limit. I know it don't sound sexy, but the same way you have a schedule for work, you have to have a schedule for your gaming time. And guess what? That could be 1 hour out to dinner, maybe on the weekends. You just got to figure out what works for you and for your relationship. Here's another tip. What if you get your wife or your spouse to join you when you gaming? That could work. But do not get it twisted. This is not to take away from the time y'all need to be spending emotionally and deeply connecting. It's just a time to kind of actually help you get away with gaming a little bit more to kind of help you out. But again, it cannot compensate for real connection. So again, before you pick that controller up, make sure you have prioritized quality time with her first. Spending time with her first. Then you can go game. That's going to emotionally impact her in more of a positive way that gives you more access to gaming without any interruptions or feeling some type of way. Again, prioritize quality time first. So let's get real for a second. What if you actually don't figure this out? Well, I'm going to tell you. When your wife starts to feel like she's second place to a video game, right after that becomes resentment, the arguments, the emotional distance. And after a while, those things start to add up to a breakup, a divorce. You can't have that if you really value your wife. At the end of the day, it's not about choosing between your wife or your video game. It's about balance. Your marriage is the most important relationship that you have. Video games, look, yes, they're fun. It can be an escape. It's relaxing. But it cannot be a situation where it's replacing real life connections. So now my challenge for you guys is be intentional. Be intentional with your wife. Be intentional with your relationship. And you're going to see that your marriage and your relationship is going to level up. So before we go, I want to know down in the comments, have you guys found balance between your wife and your relationship? Or are you still struggling? And if you have found a solution, what's something that you guys can share with other guys who love their game, but maybe are still trying to work out that balance? What's some solutions for them outside of what I've said today that can potentially help them? As always, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Like the video, share the video if someone got value out of this or who can receive value from this video. And again, thank you. Husband Code Boswell, I'm out.